Mills, Dean and Rector of the Cathedral Parish of St. George and St. Andrew with Transfiguration Lumens Hill and Ascension Sign Hill, cordially invites you to a public lecture on the topic People, Policy, Practice, and the Possibility of Prosperity, the Rising of China and its Impacts on SIDS, with particular reference to the English-speaking Caribbean. It takes place on Monday, February 24th at the UWI Global Campus at 6 p.m. Please be seated by 5:45, dress code semi-formal. See you there.
Bayhill News Network is an internet radio. We are affiliate with Fun City Radio USA, Cancardi Radio and Success Radio Canada and Blaze Nation Media Group. You can find Bayhill News Network at www.bayhillnews.net.
Welcome to Bayhill News Network News. News sponsored by...
You can now order your roti skins from Des Tasty Treats and Roti Skins at telephone 1784-528-2979 or pick up Des Tasty Treats and Roti Skins at Randy's Supermarket. More products are coming soon from Des Tasty Treats and Roti Skins.
In the news.
The St. Vincent and the Grenadines Association of Music Professionals, SCAMP, invites members of the public to join us as we stand up and speak out / raise our voices against sexual and gender-based violence through song. Featuring a dynamic lineup of established and emerging Vincentian artists, folks of all ages are welcome to attend any of our free performances on Friday, February 21st, 2025, Georgetown Square. Sunday, February 23rd, 2025, Heritage Square. Friday, February 28, 2025, Rose Hall Square. Saturday, March 1st, 2025, Curator's House Botanical Gardens. This project is supported by the Government of Canada through the Canada Fund for Local Initiatives, CFLI.
The UWI Global Campus St. Vincent and the Grenadines as we celebrate of Black History Month Red Heart Black Heart Green Heart this February with a lecture by the esteemed Dr. Henderson Carter. The senior lecturer and head of Department of Philosophy and History at the University of the West Indies, Bayhill Campus, Barbados will speak on the topic, Speaking Head Elevating Black History for Nation Building and Development. Date, Saturday, February 22, 2025. Time, 6 p.m. Venue, the UWI Global Campus St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The Garifuna Heritage Foundation, TGHF, in collaboration with the University of the West Indies Global Campus, UWIG, presents the 12th International Garifuna Conference from March 11 to 13, 2025 held under the theme, Embracing Our Legacy, Strategies for Constructing the Garifuna Component of a 2030 Indigenous Peoples Development Plan. The call for papers for the conference was launched in 2024 and we have received exciting submissions from presenters in different parts of the world. This IGC 2025 conference will be conducted in hybrid modality, face-to-face and virtually, and will be held at the University of the West Indies Global Campus Conference Room. The opening ceremony for the conference takes place on Tuesday, March 11, 2025 commencing at 12 p.m. with our receiving of the usual greetings via Zoom from fraternal organizations and indigenous communities. The opening ceremony will hear formal addresses from officials in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and the keynote address will be delivered by Dr. Federico Lanzarini. In response to the February 12, 2025 ruling by the Eastern Caribbean Court of Appeal regarding the COVID-19 vaccine mandate case, I am deeply saddened by the ruling and I express my utmost solidarity with the public servants who were unjustly dismissed. No government in a democratic and free state should be allowed to infringe on the rights of its citizens. The severe impact the mandate has had on hundreds of educators and their families has trickled into unforeseen ramifications on the education of our youth and the formation of a troubling precedent for how health crises will be managed on a national level moving forward. Furthermore, after forcing them out of their jobs, the ULP government has crawled back to the very professionals they dismissed, requesting that they reapply, further expressing their lack of respect or remorse for what has occurred. The emotional and financial burdens our Vincentian public servants have had to endure mirror the hardships of historical injustices of slavery. We must not allow such oppressive laws to dictate the lives of Vincentians or impact the critical development of our youth. When elected, fairly and by the people, I commit to rectifying these wrongs and proposing reparations through reinstatement with full back pay and other benefits. Moreover, I pledge to be an active champion in the fight to rescind the Public Health Amendment Bill of 2021 requiring mandatory vaccination. We the people deserve stronger integrity in legislation to hold public officials accountable. Less talking, more action.
This a reminder that the SVG Public Service Union, SVG Teachers Union and the Police Welfare Association are inviting the media to a press conference to be held at the SVG Teachers Union's conference room on Monday, February 24, 2025 at 10 a.m. This press conference is to inform the public on the union's stance after the judgment that was passed on February 12, 2025 by Justice Eddie Ventos as it relates to the vaccine mandate case. The Zero Hunger Trust Fund, in collaboration with the Rural Transformation Unit, in the Ministry of Agriculture, Forestry, Fisheries, Rural Transformation, Industry, and Labor will host the National Home Garden Prize-Giving Ceremony on Thursday, February 20, 9 a.m. at the NIS Conference Room. An invitation is extended to your media house to cover this event. We do look forward to showcasing the hard work and dedication of the outstanding gardeners. Toastmasters in St. Vincent and the Grenadines will resume their in-person area speech contest on Sunday, February 23, 2025. This anticipated event is open to the general public and it will take place at the SVG Community College at 4:30 p.m. after a 4-year absence. The speech contests have been held via the Zoom platform since the COVID-19 pandemic. The speech contest will be hosted by Area Director Andrew Da Silva, Contest Chair Leanna Laidlow, and Chief Judge Alicia Kirby. The speech contestants comprise Toastmasters from the 3 Toastmasters clubs in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Area 16. These clubs are the Achievers Toastmasters Club, Creative Thinkers Toastmasters Club, and Imperial Champions Toastmasters Club. The 3 categories of the speech contests are International Speech Contest, Evaluation Speech Contest, and Table Topic Speech Contest. The International Speech Contest entails the contestants speaking on a topic of their choice for 5 to 7 minutes. While the evaluation speech, contestants must give feedback within 2 to 3 minutes on a test speech. And the Table Topics contestants must present a 1 to 2 minute speech on a topic given by the contest chair. The winners will represent Area 16 at the Division Speech Contest in Barbados in May 2025. Then the champions will advance to the Caribbean District Speech Contest. The Toastmasters International Speech Contest derived its name from Toastmasters International, where each district winner goes on to the Toastmasters International Convention to compete for the title of World Champion of Public Speaking.
While some argue that Shallow must first secure his seat and fully establish himself within the new Democratic Party, there is no denying his meteoric rise. His rapid ascent has even sparked calls for him to take the party's leadership, with many believing he will remove any uncertainty in the minds of those who have not accepted the inevitable defeat of the ULP in the upcoming elections. Credit to Shallow, he has demonstrated his willingness to play a supporting role in the team. What truly struck me was the overwhelming support the young politician received when Gonzalez launched a bitter campaign to have him removed as president of Cricket West Indies. Desperate and grasping, Gonzalez even attempted to drag other regional leaders into the controversy. Long may good judgment continue on the part of the leaders as they maintain their distance from Gonzalez's petty and conniving politics. At the very least, the regional leaders should remember that the same President Shallow led a successful T20 World Cup last year that brought many of them immense praise. Shallow has ignited a political supernova, shaking the very foundation of the ruling party and leaving its leadership scrambling for control. The explosion is undeniable, and no amount of staged social media antics, whether it's dancing, being fed by his wife, or flaunting ties to the recently freed Vibes cartel, can contain the fallout. In fact, these desperate distractions are only making things worse. The people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines have had enough of the gimmicks and the recycled rhetoric. They are demanding real change, something fresh, inspiring, and, whether the old guard likes it or not, younger. Gonzalez has ruled for nearly a quarter of a century, but his time is running out. The era of the supernova has begun, and its light is exposing everything that has long been hidden in the shadows.
We move to the regional news.
The Repair Campaign has welcomed the call made by Grenadian Prime Minister Dickon Mitchell for the European Commission to progress reparatory justice for the transatlantic slave trade. Prime Minister Mitchell was addressing the President of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, at the 48th regular meeting of the Conference of Heads of Government of CARICOM, Caribbean Community, which is taking place in Barbados this week, 19th to 21st February. Commenting today, February 20th, 25, the founder of the Repair Campaign, Dennis O'Brien, said, Prime Minister Mitchell is to be applauded for calling on the EU to address the issue of reparations. Ursula von der Leyen, in her response, rightly acknowledged that slavery is a crime against humanity. Now, she needs to move beyond that acknowledgement to ensuring the institutions of the EU actively progress reparations. There is one day left for action at the Conference of Heads of Government of CARICOM. Over the next 24 hours, we look forward to other Caribbean heads of state reinforcing Prime Minister Mitchell's position. We will continue to work with CARICOM to progress this issue at EU level. The Caribbean Public Health Agency, CARFA, through its Regional Tourism and Health Program, THP, continues to collaborate with Tourism Trinidad Limited, TTL, to build capacity to promote healthier, safer tourism as Trinidad prepares for its annual Carnival Mass Gathering event 2025. Both CARFA and TTL are committed to safe and responsible tourism to protect the health and well-being of both visitors and the local populations, especially during the carnival season. Trinidad and Tobago's Carnival, known as the greatest show on earth, expects a high number of tourists from many countries to experience the rich and authentic celebrations. During mass gathering events, there is the increased likelihood that infectious diseases can spread faster as large numbers of persons are in close contact. CARFA, through its Regional Tourism and Health Program, THP, aims to strengthen capacity among tourism stakeholders to better manage and respond to any public health threats. A total of 148 persons from tourism entities in Trinidad participated in CARFA's Prevention and Control of Infectious Diseases during mass gatherings training on February 18, 2025, in preparation for Carnival 2025. Participants were from tourism and hospitality sectors, including accommodations, food and beverages, transportation providers, tour guides, tour operators and organizations associated with events such as promoters and moss bands. This targeted training provided Trinidad tourism stakeholders with the knowledge, capacity, and practical examples of prevention and control measures of infectious diseases in the Caribbean region during mass gathering events, such as Carnival 2025. Dr. Lisa Indar, Executive Director, CARFA, remarked, "This training is important to build the capacity of tourism entities to reduce illnesses and public health threats. Carnival attracts a high number of tourists which can perhaps contribute to the spread of new and re-emerging infectious diseases. Tourism stakeholders will be equipped with the knowledge of how to prevent and operate safely during mass gathering events, reducing the risk and occurrences of vaccine-preventable diseases, vector-borne diseases, respiratory diseases, food and waterborne diseases and sexually transmitted diseases." Mr. Cornel Buckrady, Interim Chief Executive Officer, TTL, shared CARFA, through this capacity building, urges continued efforts which will keep the region safe. "We thank CARFA for recognizing the public health threats and for taking proactive measures to prevent and control them. We look forward to a continued successful collaboration with CARFA to ensure tourism stakeholders are prepared to operate with an increased level of awareness, leading to improved levels of health and safety within their planning and operations." TTL has worked closely with CARFA since the THP's inception in Trinidad, launching the program on September 23, 2016. Since then, 193 facilities in Trinidad have registered. Dr. Wayne Henry, the Director General of the Planning Institute of Jamaica, PIOJ, has stated that the country is not in a recession, despite experiencing 2 consecutive quarters of economic decline. Speaking at the agency's quarterly press conference on Wednesday, Henry explained that the Jamaican economy remains relatively strong, citing the continued high demand for jobs as a sign of resilience. Jamaica recorded a 1.8% decline in the October to December 2024 quarter, marking the second consecutive quarter of decline, following a 3.5% decrease in the July to September period. While 2 consecutive quarters of GDP contraction is commonly used as a definition of a recession, Henry emphasized that the country's macroeconomic fundamentals are still robust. St. Lucia police officers and fortnightly paid workers represented by the National Workers Union, NWU, will receive their back pay alongside other public sector employees, despite ongoing negotiations with the government. Additionally, government retirees who cannot benefit from the recently approved salary increases and back pay will receive a one-time $500 payment. Prime Minister Philip J. Pierre made the announcement in a televised address on Tuesday night. During his address, he acknowledged that discussions between the government negotiating team, GNT, the Police Welfare Association and the NWU are still in progress. He assured that efforts are being made to resolve the outstanding concerns of those workers' representatives as soon as possible. One of Barbados' largest poultry producers is embarking on a major expansion program to ensure a consistent year-round supply of chicken for local consumers. Amir Juman, executive director of Faison's Foods Incorporated, Amir's Chicken, on Wednesday announced plans to scale up production in response to global disruptions in the poultry industry, which have heightened concerns over food security. The ongoing H5N1 bird flu outbreak in the United States has led to severe poultry shortages, significantly disrupting supply chains and making it increasingly difficult to source hatching eggs. The crisis has also triggered a shortage of table eggs, placing further strain on the industry. In recent weeks, egg producers have struggled to meet soaring demand, particularly from cruise ships docking in Barbados, which have increased their orders. The shortfall prompted industry officials to seek to import 600,000 eggs to stabilize supply. The rate of inflation in Trinidad and Tobago for January 2025 was 0.7%. The rate measures the percentage change in the All Items Index for the month of January 2025 over January 2024. The 0.7% figure represents an increase from the previous period, December 2024/December 2023, of 0.5%, the Central Statistical Office, CSO, said in a media release. The inflation rate for the comparative period, January 2024/January 2023, was 0.3%. The All Items Index calculated from the prices collected for the month of January 2025 was 124.9, representing an increase of 0.2 points or 0.2% above the All Items Index for December 2024, the CSO stated. Prime Minister Dr. Thahan Keith Rowley joined regional leaders and specially invited guests at the opening ceremony of the 48th regular meeting of the Conference of Heads of Government of the Caribbean Community, CARICOM, in Bridgetown, Barbados. The meeting is being convened under the theme, Strength in Unity, Forging Caribbean Resilience, Inclusive Growth and Sustainable Development. Remarks were delivered by the incoming chairman of CARICOM and Prime Minister of Barbados, the Honorable Mia Amor Motley, the outgoing chairman and Prime Minister of Grenada, the Honorable Dickon Mitchell, Premier of Montserrat, the Honorable Reuben T. Meade, Secretary General of the United Nations, His Excellency Antonio Guterres and the President of the European Commission, Her Excellency Ursula von der Leyen.
International news is next.
The family of a passenger killed in a mid-air collision near Washington, D.C., filed $250 million claims each against the Federal Aviation Administration, FAA, and the U.S. Army on February 18. Casey Crafton, 40, of Salem, Connecticut, was among the 67 people who lost their lives when American Airlines Flight 5342 collided with a U.S. Army Black Hawk helicopter over the Potomac River near the Reagan National Airport on January 29. Robert A. Clifford, founder and senior partner of Clifford Law Offices, filed the pre-case claims on behalf of Crafton's widow, Rachel, and the couple's 3 young sons. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth has directed military officials to identify $50 billion in potential cuts from the upcoming fiscal year 2026 budget so that the savings can be redirected to President Donald Trump's national defense priorities, the Pentagon announced on February 19. The Department of Defense plans to review the budget drawn up by the previous administration and develop a list of potential savings that could be realigned from low-impact and low-priority Biden legacy programs, according to a statement from Robert Salesses, who is performing the duties of the Deputy Defense Secretary. Salesses said, excessive bureaucracy and programs targeting climate change or other woke programs, such as diversity, equity, and inclusion, DEI, initiatives would be targeted. Washington, the Republican conference of the U.S. Senate will proceed with its own budget plan to fund President Donald Trump's policy initiatives, even after Trump himself rejected the plan on February 19. To fund many of Trump's administrative and financial plans, such as constructing a wall along the U.S. border with Mexico, removing all illegal immigrants from the United States, and extending provisions of the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, TCJA, of 2017, Congress must enact new laws that authorize funding. The regular procedure in the Senate to pass such bills would require 60 votes in favor of invoking cloture, so as to limit debate and end any filibuster running out of the clock by opponents. Given that Republicans have just 53 seats in the Senate, support of at least 7 Democratic senators will be needed to invoke cloture, an unlikely outcome given the partisan nature of ongoing budget fights in Congress. American shoppers may face higher prices if U.S. President Donald Trump goes ahead with some of his proposed tariffs, the U.S. Central Bank has warned. Minutes from the Federal Reserve's January meeting released on Wednesday revealed members of its committee believe Trump's policies might hinder the disinflation process. Business contacts in a number of districts had indicated that firms would attempt to pass on to consumers higher input costs arising from potential tariffs, the minute said. The release of the comments comes as the Fed faces criticism from Trump for not cutting interest rates sooner after leaving rates unchanged in the January meeting. British inflation sped up by more than expected to hit a 10-month high of 3% in January and is likely to rise further soon, testing the Bank of England's confidence that price pressures will ease over the longer term. The Office for National Statistics said the increase in January was driven largely by a smaller than usual drop in airfares that month, a volatile component that had pushed inflation down in December, and a rise in automotive fuel prices. When asked if President Trump finds Russian President Putin or Ukrainian President Zelensky responsible for the Russian invasion of Ukraine, National Security Advisor Mike Waltz does not answer, instead saying, his goal is to bring this war to an end, period. This week, Trump had doubled down on his attacks on Zelensky, calling him a dictator, and falsely blaming him for starting the war with Russia.
This end of Bay News Network News. News sponsored by.
You can now order your roti skins from Des Tasty Treats and Roti Skins at telephone 1784-528-2979 or pick up Des Tasty Treats and Roti Skins at Randy's Supermarket. More products are coming soon from Des Tasty Treats and Roti Skins.
Sports is next.
Audio Jungle.
Sports was sponsored by.
Looking for a place to relax with natural cool breeze and friendly surroundings? Then check the Bayhill Tree Bar, located at Bayhill Cane Garden. We have everything a bar will have. We also sell Shell 20 pounds of cooking gas at the Bayhill Tree Bar.
In the sport.
St. Vincent and the Grenadines Community College Invitational Volleyball Competition. At the Villa Campus Court, the competition will continue on Friday, February 21st with 4 more preliminary matches. Day 2 fixtures. Friday, February 21st. 12:30 p.m. DSGS Diggers vs. Country Roots. 1:30 p.m. DSGS Spikers vs. Associates Blockers. 2:30 p.m. Sports Sciences Players vs. DT Alphas. 3:30 p.m. Volume 2 vs. Country Roots. It was a tough campaign in CONCACAF Male U17 qualifiers for our under-17 boys as they suffered defeat in their 3 games in Group E as the tournament ran from February 11th to 16th, 2025 in Guatemala. Tough luck with the results, guys, but it's not the end of the world. Let's regroup, refocus, and move forward positively. Reaffirming its commitment to use the power of football to help develop the nation's youth, the Barbados Football Association, BFA, hosted a community tour on Saturday to celebrate the continued success of its partnership with the National Peace Program, NPP, in collaboration with the Government of Barbados. Through this partnership, the BFA currently facilitates both on-field and off-field theoretical, educational, and practical sessions designed to empower young people in 5 local community hubs: Pinelands, Deacons, Eden Lodge, Passage Road, and the newly launched Britain's Hill Hub, aligning with the association's vision to use football to create positive social change for youth in Barbados. The community tour was attended by BFA Special Projects Coordinator Amanda James, External Facilitator for NPP/BFA Football Hubs Carrie Skeet, Passage Road Hub Fitness Trainer Jillian Martindale, Passage Road Hub Football Head Coach and Hub Coordinator Andrew Tudor, and local children aged 8 to 14 years from the Passage Road Community Hub. Led by BFA Special Projects Coordinator Amanda James, the children were treated to a bus ride to Paradise Nature Park for a tour of the Animal and Nature Sanctuary, then stopped off at King George V Memorial Park for an afternoon of football games, a mini training session, and a picnic lunch. James said she was delighted with the attendance on this first community tour, confirming that the BFA intends to host a series of community hub tours in the coming weeks. It was lovely to see the children's dedication to participating in all of the BFA and NPP hub activities, and it just shows how much they really enjoy all aspects of the program, she said. Our mission, in collaboration with the National Peace Program, is to continue to assist to strengthen our nation's youth in a holistic manner and to engage them in a variety of positive activities, using football as the driving force. It takes a village to raise a child, and the BFA are thrilled to be a part of such a life-changing program for Barbadian youth, families, and our local communities. BFA President Randy Harris echoed these sentiments. The youth are the future. This is true in both football and in wider society, and the BFA remains firmly committed to putting youth and community outreach initiatives, such as our collaboration with the National Peace Program, at the forefront of the association's agenda and to continuing to make valuable contributions to the future of football in Barbados and to the future of our nation. We live and breathe the FIFA mantra of football unites the world, and the BFA's participation in this program shows us on a local level how much of an impact sport, particularly football, can have in our communities, and these benefits extend way beyond the pitch. I am pleased to see the BFA's involvement in the continued success of the football arm of the National Peace Program and commend its multifaceted approach to national sporting and community development. Our Lady Help of Christians Catholic School wins the inaugural National History Bowl Finals organized by the Ministry of Education and the National Celebrations Committee. The history quiz competition among primary schools focuses on Grenadian history. 28 primary schools nationwide participated in the competition. The participating schools held competitions within the schools and the winning teams represented the schools at the district levels. The winner at the district level then represented the district at the competition held today at the Trade Center Annex, Morne Rouge, St. George. Our Lady Help of Christians Catholic School represented District 6. They also took home the Challenge Trophy. Winners and points. Our Lady Help of Christians Catholic School 166.5 District 6. St. George's Anglican Senior School 136, District 5. Sacred Heart Catholic School 130, District 2. The all-conquering Simmons Stallions came out on top at the Corinth Secondary School Track Championships at the Darren Sammy Cricket Ground. Chastity McDonald earned 6 medals, including 2 individual gold medals at last week's meet. Simmons earned 1487 points, ahead of Mondasier Dragons with 1354, Clark Cheetahs with 1227, and Walcott Wolves totaling 1166. Division III Victrix Ladorum McDonald had previously taken silver in the ball throw and bronze in the long jump. The 13-year-old from Marisol got gold in the 100-meter and 150m, before leading her 4x100-meter and 4x300-meter teams to first-place finishes. Mondasier gave a solid account of themselves, with 4 top athletes in the 6 divisions. Jurlio Mondasier won 3 individual gold medals in the Division III boys, taking the 300m, 600m, and 1200m, going on to help his team win the 4x300-meter. In Division II, Mondasier's Kamani Desreviers was brilliant with 7 medals, among them gold in the road race. She took silver in the long jump and javelin throw, and gold in shot put and discus throw ahead of the track events. The sprint tech athlete then got 400 meters silver, 800-meter gold, and silver in both the 4x100-meter and 4x400-meter. For the boys, Tyler Bassett of Clark House was a bronze medalist in the shot put and a gold medalist in the discus throw. He got 100m and 4x100-meter gold on the track. Mondesir swept the top awards in Division 1. Chris Hannah Lucian capturing the sprint double, gold in the 100-meter and 200m, before taking her team to victory in 4x100-meter and 4x400-meter. Darnell Bartholomew almost did the same among the boys, taking silver instead in the 200m.
This end of our sports news. Sports was sponsored by
Looking for a place to relax with natural cool breeze and friendly surroundings? Then check the Bayhill Tree Bar, located at Bayhill Cane Garden. We have everything a bar will have. We also sell Shell 20 pounds of cooking gas at the Bayhill Tree Bar.
The Very Reverend Otis Samuel Nichols, Dean and Rector of the Cathedral Parish of St. George and St. Andrew with Transfiguration Lomans Hill and Ascension Sign Hill, cordially invites you to a public lecture on the topic People, Policy, Practice, and the Possibility of Prosperity, the Rising of China and its Impacts on SIDS, with particular reference to the English-speaking Caribbean. It takes place on Monday, February 24th at the UWI Global Campus at 6 p.m. Please be seated by 5:45. Dress code semi-formal.